Hey folks, how's it going there? So was planning to do a bit of a different stream. Have a bunch of G4 cubes that need some drive work, but as it turns out, I have had no success in getting any of those drives to work off-site, off of streaming, so I didn't think spending any more time on stream would make any difference. I had actually ordered a replacement drive, SATA drive, to try in the cube with an ID adapter, only to find out that the SATA drive isn't actually SATA, it is Slimline SATA. So now I have to wait for a cable that will adapt it to a standard SATA connector so that I can try my ID adapter. So with that all on pause, I thought I'd switch gears over to this little guy, which is in the background, the Macintosh Color Classic. This is one of the systems that Craig and I are looking to sell. And of course, like all the systems we seem to have, there's probably, I don't know, 20% things that aren't quite right with it. So I'm hoping we can address that today. I will at least show it, if we can bring it onto camera. Oh, I'm in the wrong corner. So that it does boot up. So I'll switch it on here. And we'll hit the power key. We get the chime. See if I can change our refresh rate. Let's see, where's refresh rate on this? Second boot up. There she goes, she's starting. I know I had this control. There's been an update to this application, so undoubtedly something has changed. Oh, how I enjoy when things change locations and UIs. It's not frustrating at all. So there we go. We got it booted up to a desktop. So picture is way overblown, the wrong size, and I think it's off center too. So we'll see what we can get done. I don't think I have all the capacitors I need to recap this one at this particular juncture, but we can at least do the logic board today. Oh, and before I forget, I just wanted to wish everyone a happy Macintosh, or Marcintosh, however you pronounce it. Let's get this guy out. Craig has all kinds of ideas of stuff for us to do in March for Macintosh, so I'm sure we'll be... Oh, hey Craig. Let's see if we can't get this flipped the correct way. Nope, didn't respond to that at all. Oh, that's fun. I am looking at switching this over to StreamYards. I just have not had a chance to set that up yet. That's better. Let's see if we can't get this in focus for all of us, myself included. All right. There we go. That's a little better. Can actually see stuff now. All right. Well, first things first, let's get some capacitors off. I'm going to be using a combination of the clipping method and the hot air rework. Kind of depends on what I feel like doing today. And for this particular one, which is near the crystal oscillator and the CUDA chip, I'm probably just going to snip it off. what I've discovered is hot air and crystals do not go well together a lot of the time. So if you just want to avoid the hassle, seems like clipping is the better option. Because if you don't and you get a little too much heat on that crystal, it will suddenly stop working. And then you will go to power it on with the keyboard and you'll suddenly discover that you can't. I say this from experience, and it is quite infuriating when that happens. Because then you have to go and find one of these crystals in your little stash and replace it. All right. Ooh, yeah, this was a leaker. Let's grab our Q-tips, rubbing alcohol, and let's give it a quick clean with that first. And then another cleaning with solder and flux, because this is going to be a very bad one. Okay, get the flux. It's over here. And give this a bit of a scrub. First, a little fresh solder on here. Get rid of that. And there we go. Get rid of that. That already looks better. Okay, I'm going to switch to the other soldering tip. Let's make this a little bit easier on myself. Oh, that needs to be cleaned. Let's do that. Then let's try it again. There we go. So this machine is basically one of, is it 6 or 7 Color Classics? No, it's 7, because we have one that is in box that we're looking to eventually rehome. Now, fortunately, some of them are working just fine, but others, sorry, just getting messaged. Others, like the one in box, decided that it suddenly didn't have internal sound. It did when I recapped it originally, but the next time I went to use it, it suddenly didn't. It had external sound via the headphone jack, but it didn't have sound internally anymore. Tried the jack itself, tried replacing the jack itself to see if the little switch inside was stuck. No such luck, unfortunately. So that one's going to be further investigation, see what has broken on that, and get it repaired. But that just means, unfortunately, another delay before we can sell the system off. Woo! We got a little bit of crunchiness on this board. Yeah, we're going to be running this through the cleaner at some point. It's nice that it at least boots up and has sound and everything, but I would definitely say it's looking like she needs a good bath. So once we get this all recapped and tested, I will probably be prepping the bath for it. Okay, I'll see if I can get this under the view. So I'm doing the SIP method again. I know people either love or hate this method. I don't know. For myself, I will use it sometimes, and other times I will use a hot air. If it's around a lot of plastic, I will probably use the snip method and the board isn't in too bad of shape. If the board is in rougher shape and there's a lot of plastic, I will take the time and cover things up. And then use hot air. But this one's not too bad. Let's get rid of these. And get this out. There we go. Get these pads off. Not the pads, the plastic pieces on top of the pads. There we go. Sometimes they just explode. That's old plastic for you. There we go. Then that should just pull off. And yeah, we got another couple lovely ones here. Hey, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Thanks for joining us. Just doing up a Color Classic here today. Nothing too extreme, just basic recap and some clues on this one by the looks of things. Let's get this. And let's get this one. This one's really grungy. There we go. Got that off. Get this guy. Get that off. Okay. Sweep away some of our debris. And let's get these pads cleaned up. I need to sharpen my side cutters here pretty soon. Alright, let's get these pads cleaned up. Come on. Oh, why'd that turn off? That would be why I'm not getting any heat, because it turned off. There we go. Try that again. And that already looks way better than it did. And this guy. Trying to get better about making sure things are actually in focus and on screen for you guys. Probably still failing half the time, but trying. Okay, let's get a Q-tip here. And get this cleaned up. So one of the challenges I've had with these Color Classics that we have has been analog boards. Just today I was going through 3 of the analog boards we have. One of them has a very strange, almost alarm-like scream to it when you turn it on. Which is always fun, because no one loves electronics more than when electronics scream for no apparent reason. Another one has decided that if you try to turn it on, it will blow the fuse. And I have been over and over that board several times this morning, trying to figure out what is causing it. And I thought I found couple problems. There was a reefer cap that had exploded, which was interesting because I didn't even think these boards had reefers, but yeah, apparently it does. It has one in between the 2 components in the top left quadrant, and that one had exploded, so I replaced it. Thought, great, maybe this is what's causing the problems, and I tried it again and it blew another fuse. So I put that one to the side, and I tried our third board, which did power on. I tried turning on a Color Classic board, and it started, and then the whole thing turned off. And I tried it again, and exactly the same thing. So something is shorting, or something isn't quite right when a machine tries to actually boot up. That prevents the board, or prevents the analog board from working correctly. And then I finally found this machine with a working analog board, but it is not quite right either, because as you saw, it's a little overblown, and it's completely off center. So more than likely, I'm thinking it probably needs a recap, because they all seem to. All right, these side cutters need a good sharpening. Let's try my other ones. So before we sew these things off, I think I will end up doing a lot of repairs on analog boards, which is kind of a good thing because I do need more practice with that. I don't tend to do a lot of analog boards, but I do need to learn, so I'm going to look at it as a learning experience. And then we still have Craig's analog board from his last stream that I will also be taking a look at here in the near future to see why it suddenly does not have video out after his modifications. I'm hoping that one is relatively easy. We have actually a 575 boards here that we were hoping to put into these Color Classics. And the idea is that we will be modding them for 640 by 480, should people want it, and then selling them off for better homes. As soon as I can at least get one of the 575 boards to work that we got, or that I should say Craig originally bought, that has a lot of pad damage. Now I've gone through it, I've repaired the ones I've found, and it still doesn't power on, so that one's going to take more time. Let's get those off if we can. There we go. Okay, now it should pull off. Hopefully. Or at least break off. There we go. That side broke off. Let's try this one. There we go. Okay, let's get the other guy here. I hope I can, Craig. Fail, and please help Keith. I will do my best. I'm still learning all this, so all I can do is promise to do my best. That's it. Wow. All of these have quite a lot of corrosion on them. I am surprised this turned on. I really am, but I'm glad it did. It's amazing how some of these machines can work in such wretched states, and the other ones that look absolutely pristine won't do anything for you. Absolutely crazy. It's like they have their own personalities. And some really want to live, and others are just not interested. There we go. And that guy. There we go. Whew, that's a smelly one. Okay, let's clean these pads. I just want a Mystic with PPC. I don't really care how it happens. We'll get it. We'll get there, Craig. we've got enough parts, we can make one for you for sure, and then it's up to us to get the rest working too. But at least there's less rush for those. Okay, you're stuck on there. I don't want that. Let's rotate you so I have a better angle to get to these. And still hopefully on screen. There we go. Yeah, I think that's a good balance. As soon as I'm done with this, I think I'm going to prep the ultrasonic cleaner and get her in. Because this board is... It didn't look so bad before I put it under the microscope, but yeah, it's pretty crunchy. Come on. It's looking better. So I think one of the things we'll be doing here in the near future is a real going over all the expansion cards that we got in this lot. Because we have a giant box filled with expansion cards now. And since the computer systems are taking us so much longer to prep than I would have originally liked, I think it's time we switch focus and start going through those cards, testing them, verifying they work, recapping anything that need to recap, and then rehoming them ASAP so that we can focus on getting the systems up and going. This is filthy. Holy moly. Each time I put the Q-tip down, it comes back with black. Okay. Certainly looks better than it did, though. Wait until you see the 575 board from Japan. It's super crunchy. Oh, good. Well, to be honest, I mean, even the last Color Classic I looked at, which was off stream, that we got from the lot, I mean, I pulled off that sound chip and it was nothing but just caked in dirt underneath. It was absolutely disgusting. So wherever these machines are being stored, they're gathering a lot of crap. 10 volt, or 10 microfarad, 16 volt. Okay. I grabbed the wrong capacitor, so I'll have to grab a different one for that. Oh no, I grabbed it. 10 microfarad, 16 volt. Yep. Okay, good. I did grab the right one. Yay. Okay. Let's get off if we can. Come on, little guy. Come on. Your time has passed. Time for another to take your place. Thank you. Gotta step out, pick up a Mac Plus. Okay, cool. Nice. Oh man, we have so many Mac Plus here too. I have been going through when I get a chance and applying the diode mod to the Mac Pluses so that whoever gets them can just hook up a blue SCSI external if they want right away and they don't have to do any fussing. I had diodes in stock, so I was like, it doesn't take long, I can do that. Make someone else's life a little bit easier. Nice simple mod. There we go. It's one you always have to shake your head and go, why didn't Apple just do this? Why wasn't that just from the factory like this? They had the spot. The diode would have cost them like a nickel. Oh well. For some reason, it made sense to them at the time not to do it. So it's just fortunate for us that they at least had everything prepped. So there was a good engineer somewhere that managed to sneak that in without anyone noticing, I'm sure, and made it a lot easier for us in the end. Man, that is another filthy one. It would be fun to overdub what the capacitor would be thinking while you're ripping into it. Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's a short. What we got going on here? A little bit of solder for some reason. Okay, well, let's grab the thing here and clean that up. There we go. That better. That's better. Okay, what else we got on here? Those three at the bottom. There's not a lot of caps on this, which is nice. Down there. Okay. Get that on screen. Swear it switched my camera view again, but oh well. Get this guy. And the one next to him. And a third. There we go. All right, Craig, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so all those. Let's get these off. Get this chunk of solder out. Don't want that messing things up later. Come on. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure something out with that one analog board that just blows up fuses as soon as you try and power it on. There's definitely something that has gone bad on it. I might have to consult some other people. Our friend Jeff might have ideas what to test and maybe some idea of how I do the testing, because quite frankly this is new to me, so there's undoubtedly stuff I haven't learned yet that I'll need to do in order to figure out what's going on there. Worst case, maybe I'll just, because the screaming board and the fuse blowing board are the same revision, what I might end up doing is just doing some part swaps and see, one, if I can figure out what's screaming, but two, figure out what the heck is causing things to blow up. Worst case scenario, I'd like to actually diagnose and figure things out. One of these days I'd like to be as least half as competent as Adrian Black. That would be a nice goal. Definitely not near that level yet. And we got 3 crunchy pads again, or 6 I should say, 3 crunchy undercapacitors. Yeah. Look at that. What a mess. Well, I'm hoping by tomorrow that cable comes in to do the slimline SATA to SATA conversion, which I will be honest, I haven't built my own system in so long, I didn't know about there being a slimline SATA standard. I've only ever in the past used SATA devices. I've never had a slimline SATA device. And of course, when I bought the drive off of Amazon, it was listed as SATA, not slimline SATA. So I had no idea that I would need a converter. And I can't tell anything from the pictures because they're taken from such a distance. It's like, oh yeah, that looks like a SATA port. Nope. It is not. It is something yet special. You gotta love when you have an industry standard and someone goes, yeah, let's add a standard to that standard. It's like, why are you doing that? I mean, we had everyone in agreement. This is what we would do. Yeah, but I want to change it. Why do you need to change it? I didn't say need. I want to. It happens far too often for my liking. I guess the whole idea is it's slightly smaller than standard SATA connection. To which I say, SATA was already pretty small. Why did you need it smaller? What is the driving factor that is forcing you to deviate from what was agreed upon to do something else? Because you really, really should think hard if you really, really need that change before you implement it. But yeah, that never happens. So instead we have SATA, slimline SATA, and apparently something called micro SATA, which I had never heard of either. At which point I go, why didn't you just make the smallest one the standard then? Then everyone would have been happy. As long as it does everything that the largest one does, then you shouldn't have an issue. Okay. That is all the capacitors there. Just going to clean that pad up a little bit more. It's a little nasty. And I'll bring up the Recap-A-Mac site just to make sure I am getting everything right. Resources, Color Classic, and there we go. 10 microfarad, 16 volt. Let's get that done right away. That way I don't forget about him. Being the smallest, he is often the most overlooked. Okay. Let's see. Get him in view. Yeah. This. Tin the positive. I think I'm gonna have to go into my Color Classic parts stash and find another grounding loop for this guy. Seems to be a little bit loppy at the moment, which is not what we want. this side. There we go. That's one. Okay, let's do our two other oddballs. That would be the 6.3 100s. Yeah, and those are down there. These two, perfect. 6.3 100s. Do I have any in black? So they look different? Yes, I do. Okay, good. I do appreciate when there's a little bit of differentiation between the different values. So have a different color is ideal. Have a different color and size, even better. But at least have a different color or size. All right, so don't know if you can see the stripes on these. Oh, you can. Okay, good. They don't show up very well under the microscope view, I find, but I can see them when I look directly at it. I don't really need extra flux there, but I'll use it anyway. Okay, let's get this on there. We'll add our friend. There we go. That's a little bit too much, but that's okay. It'll work. I don't think it'll cause a problem. Come on, down onto your pad. There we go. I don't always, but sometimes I actually end up switching hands for this, just because the left hand might have a little bit easier of a time doing this than the right. Now, add a little flux on here. Just a little bit. And a bit more solder. There we go. Okay. That looks better. Okay, those are on, facing the right directions. Good. Okay, what else we got here? We got, I believe those are 47. Yes, they are 47/16s, which should be right here. Do I have one that's open? I do. Okay, good. Oh, that's not open. Those are... I'll take a look at those later. Start with ones I know are fresh. I will occasionally reuse a capacitor if I've used it on something else before and that something is still having problems and my supplies are running low. I might take it off of that board to deal with later and reuse it somewhere else. Never had a problem with that. Seems to work. As long as I clean up the solder first. There we go. Okay. What do we got? We got U2. So let's do U2. Turn these guys up. I'll do the positive on both. Okay. And the other side. There we go. Try not to touch things. I bad habit of not looking to make sure I'm not touching something else before I start soldering. Need to improve on that. It doesn't usually damage anything really, it just gives it a little dent. But I don't like that, especially if I'm doing something for someone else. Try to avoid it as best I can. Okay. There we go. Good. Okay, so we got those two. Okay, that's on, facing the right way. That should be good. All right, C6, which I believe is also 47.6. Yes, it is. 47.16, excuse me. Get that in view. There we go. I was watching Mac84's last couple of live streams where he was working on the 840 AVs. That's one board I would like to try eventually, but much like he has had his trouble with 840 AVs, I've had my troubles with 575s and Color Classics, which have been very painful to diagnose. I have about 4 boards. No, 4 or 5? I think at least 4 that have all kinds of little problems that are preventing them from booting up. And diagnosing those when you have no way of doing it outside of the chassis is a giant pain in the butt, which I do not enjoy. And I would love to build or find a solution for powering them up and getting video and audio externally, outside of the chassis. That would be ideal. And yeah, I guess you can use a bench power supply and clip on to the various points that you need to and all that to get video out. It's not ideal. And quite frankly, it's one of those things where A, you could accidentally clip onto the wrong place, which would be bad. Or B, it could come loose while you're working on it because you're trying to move things around and trying to look at stuff. And the next thing you know, something's crossed and boom, you have a bigger problem. So, to avoid that, I really did like the video that Mac84 did where he was showing off that PCB he was designing with the intention of getting video out through the 575 harness, the cable harness. I thought, that is brilliant because that is exactly the sort of thing we need. There we go. But we don't need just that for the video and the audio. We need that for the power. Like that power could be routed down through the same harness through an ATX adapter that's just wired to power the board correctly. And that's what I would love to see someone come out with. It's just like a 3 PCB set that you will need to have the harness for, because I know unless someone can recreate the harness too, which I don't believe, but maybe someone knows how to do that too. I think the biggest problem with that would be the connectors. Because who knows if they're manufactured still or not. But yeah, just come out with a 3 PCB set, one for power, hooks up to ATX. So you hook up a Pico or regular ATX power supply, and you get your power. Get another one for video. And then, well, maybe it's just a 2 PCB, because the power actually, if it's doing it the same way as the original power board or analog board, the amps and stuff for the sound are actually on that board. So maybe it's just 2 points you need to have. So 2 PCBs. You know, I could transfer over the amps, or I think they may still be getting by pretty easily. But either way, you know, just make it so that if you really want sound, you have to put those little amps on. Oh, come on, let go. There you go. Down. There you go. Well, kind of. That's better. And yeah, that would be fantastic, because then you can work on the bloody thing completely outside of the chassis, have full access, and really actually be able to go in and check stuff. Seems like this side is hovering. Shouldn't be. Feels like it. Yeah. Okay, that's more solid now. Good. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I believe that's correct. Just double check everything. So we've got, that is correct. That is correct. That is correct. Down. Change your angle. That is correct. I don't think you guys can see the bar, but that is correct. That is correct. Those are correct. And then this guy over here. That is correct. All right. Well, should be ready to test. Really needs a good scrub. I'll try it out here and see what happens. Switch views. Ah, thank you for being upside down again, camera. Let's see if we can't fix that. Nope, that's the wrong one. Oh, I mean, it fixes it in a way, but not really. Let's try that again. That one. There we go. And let's change the camera angle on this. If we move that out of the way, that will help. So, there we go. Nope. Stay there. All right. Move this. Can back up there. Okay, good. I'm going to be resetting all this up under StreamYard at some point, so I'm not too fussed about it right now. Get our keyboard. Okay, so power up. Oh, that's even backwards still. I wonder how it decided to do this all by itself. That's why we had that over here. There we go. Okay. That should be better. So, power on. Traditional countdown, 3, 2, 1. No chime. Screen. Cursor. So no chime, but cursor. That's odd. Let's see if it boots. Happy Mac. Should be a chime there. Wasn't. I'll have to check those capacitors for the sound again. Because like the other Color Classic board we did have internal sound. Now it seems like we don't. So here's the other thing we can do. Assuming this guy's plugged in, which he may not be. Nope, he's not. I'll grab another cord. Yeah, we got a desktop. Okay. Do we have sound when we're in here? Oh. I need to change to a different disk image. This is just a CD at the moment. Let's fix that. Okay, let's get this knob some power because this is built in. Or added on, I guess, is a better way to say it. Attached to. All right, let's take that off. Well, are we missing any hooks? No. Actually, this board is not. So I don't think it was a grounding issue. Take a look at the capacitors. Are they the right values? They're supposed to be 6.3 100 in this corner. So let's take a look under the microscope. Other microscope. There we go. Okay. 107J, which, if I remember correctly, is 6.3. Let's go see. Okay, let's see. Calculator. Make sure I'm putting in the right value here. 107. Seven J. Microfarads. Yeah. How many volt? Should be correct. Okay, well, let me try with the... Let's try with the speakers. Yeah. Also helps if you actually get to see. I like the Color Classic, I really do, but I do wish that that edge connector was a little bit more robust. Now, instead of a CD image, let's switch this over to using something a little bit more appropriate, like an actual hard drive image. Ah, everything else is turned off. That would be why it is not working. Okay. Let's see. So if I move that and I rename this to 10, and this 00, two zero. Now let's get some games, sure. 30. There we go. Checked. Grab our SD card. And let's see. Grab our external sound. See if we get anything on this. External sound. That's on the jack on the far outside. Okay, switch views again. How about this one? Nope, none of these are set up right anymore. Oh, how I love when things magically change on their own. It's so not annoying. Okay. There we go. All right. So we got input, or excuse me, sound output, power. Power cord's plugged in. Start her up. We got external sound. This is the same as the other board. Just makes me wonder if something is going wrong with how I recap that sound area, which I've never had before, so I'll have to investigate this. Oh, I got the wrong system. Okay, that's easy enough. Let's switch that for image. Come on. There you are. You didn't like 701. What do you like? 711? I can do 711. For the heck of it, too, I'll have this as a backup device. There. Okay. Let's try that. Got 7.53 image on there for some reason, so if 7.1 doesn't like it, maybe 7.53 will. Who knows? One of you guys will work eventually. So we know external sound worked. Pull that out. I bet we still have no internal sound. Let's see. Power on. Boot up. Oh, now we have internal sound. Okay. I'm just imagining things, apparently. Those darn hallucinations, I tell ya. Let's see if we get boot. Got a mouse. Got a Happy Mac. Welcome to Macintosh. There we go. I'll just play with a couple things. Maybe I'll boot up a game even, see if the sound is working. Assuming it actually does boot this up. It's taking a while. There we go. More extensions. Didn't think I had that many extensions on this one. Apparently I do. And it is a Color Classic. I gotta remind myself of that. Yes, I know. Thank you. All right. Games. What do we got for games? Oh, let's see. We don't want anything taxing. There's not much memory in here. Star Trek? Will you play Star Trek? Let's see. Probably gonna tell me not enough memory. Okay, that's fine. Command P to pause the game. Okay. Oh, look at that. Do you have sound? I don't hear anything now. Interesting. We had sound. We heard a chime. At least we think we did. I'm going to include all of us into this. Oh, you're not quick, are you? It's probably quicker to do this. Let's see. So we got sound there. I heard it. Let that boot up. I hope no one's in a hurry. It's not the fastest system in the world. I can see why they sold accelerators for this. Actually spotted one here recently that was pretty cool because it's an 040 and had its own SIM socket, so you could actually add a memory module above 10 megabyte limit for the Color Classic. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, okay. Sound is there. You're just fussy. Yes, I know. I'm waiting for my desktop. And one more. There you go. Okay, don't need those open. Let's just check control panels. And sound. Yeah. Sounds are working, so why didn't we have it in game? Well, let's try something easy. Where's good old Monkey Island? Monkey Island 2. Yeah, that'll work. One of my favorites. Curse is still the favorite, but Monkey Island 2 is pretty good. It's a lot of thinking. I want it all. funny that the time is showing up there. Interesting. Escape. There should be sound. And yet, I still don't hear any, which is bizarre. Huh. Let's quit out game. See if it actually quits this time. Not enough memory to keep the windows. That's fine. I know you have very little memory. We should have sound, and yet... Where's sound? Here it is. Because we had heard it just a second ago. Those are working. So why don't we get in-game sound is the question. That is peculiar. Okay, let's shut that down. Weird. Well, tell you what, I want to grab a different chassis. Because we know this board, analog board that is, needs a little bit of loving in this. Pull that out. Let's grab a different one. I'm just curious if it'll have a different behavior. All right, you can probably still hear me. I'm just going into my little home storage where we've got a few of the machines from the hall stashed away, and I'm going to pull out another Color Classic system here. Okay. Alright, so here's our recapped board. Put that under the microscope. Here's our other system. This board out. I think this one actually has a hard drive in it. Yeah. Oh, it's actually got memory. You know what? Let's steal the memory. Actually got some memory in it. There we go. Okay, come on. No, you don't want to go in that way? Fine. Your friend can go in instead. Or I've got it backwards. That's possible too. No, I thought it's this way. There we go. Just stiff. Probably has never been used. Poor thing. All right, let's see. Now, because I think this has a hard drive in it, let's try it with nothing attached first, just the built-in hard drive, and see what it's got. Oh, power helps. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's got a hard drive in it. That was very apparent. Quite the sound of one, anyway. All right, well that boots up. assuming it will eventually. Come on, hard drive. Oh, right, it's got to count out memory now. Forgot about that. I think it's got all of 10 megabytes now. Okay, let's try this. Of course, I'm assuming that memory's good. Well. Shouldn't take that long to count up 10 megabytes. Hang on. Let's try it with that. Happens. Maybe I got a bad stick. Ooh, stiff. Okay. Take these out. Try it without. Almost something. Power. Start. Guess we consistently get sound here. But we don't get video. You had video in that one, but you didn't always have sound. You have sound in this one, but you don't have video. Now, it could be the hard drive causing problems. That is possible. You respond to reboot commands. Okay. Well, let me... Let's try the other chassis one more time. Make sure we're still getting video, because that is perplexing. I don't think I stuck the memory in the wrong way, but it's not keyed, so I don't know that for sure. Well, maybe it is keyed. Checking on the other board. Yeah, it doesn't want to insert the wrong way, so that shouldn't be the problem. Try it here. Perhaps I'm just impatient. That could be. I would definitely say that is a strong possibility. All right. Again. Now you got sound. Okay. I did not attach a blue SCSI, but we have video here. Oh dear, have we got another analog board with problems? Are you the only analog board that's working anymore? Starting to wonder. Well, let's try the memory again. Make sure it boots with that. I will be putting this through the ultrasonic cleaner, so hopefully whatever little weirdness we are seeing is going to be resolved with that. Could just be that connections are dirty. Who knows if this thing's even been powered on in the last 25 years. So I'll give it a little bit of, time to get its head sorted out. Okay. Power. Boot up. At least we can sound consistently now, so that's good. And we got video right away with this, unlike the other chassis, which is interesting. We get a cursor eventually. Yep. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, I've taken off the blue SCSI on this guy. So let's try that. You know what? Let's try the other logic board in this chassis. If I can ever get it out. There we go. Okay. Do some swapping. What are you doing here? So if I recall, you're the board that doesn't like to have anything but the speakers. External speakers, that is. So let's see what you do here. Okay. Boot up. Hang on. Try that again. This was working. Of course, having the keyboard plugged in would make sense. I knew it was working. Now I know why. Because I was smarter 30 seconds ago. Try that again. No sound on you. Okay. Video on you. Cursor with you. Okay, so this one still has the sound problem. Take this board out. Try this board and other chassis. And have keyboard. There we go. Power. Boot up. No sound. Let's see if we get video on you. Yes. See if it actually, yep. Actually booting up this one. Okay. Well, let's shut it down and try the other logic board in here. Which is over there. Okay. Yes, I know, you're gonna... Come on. Rebuilding my desktop. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Okay, so let's shut this down. So hard drive works, video works with this board. We know the other board works in the other chassis. Come on, guys. You're all supposed to work interchangeably. Don't you know this? Aren't you aware of this? All right. So, plug that in. Okay. Power cord. ADB. Switch the switch. Boot up. Sound. Longer process because we got more memory, which is fine. Do we get screen? I hear the hard disk a little bit. But we get nothing on screen, which is very strange. Even if it's counting up memory right now, I would expect a gray screen. So why do we get two different behaviors depending on which chassis we're in? How does that make sense? We get sound with this board and sound and video in the other chassis. Does it just not like this version of Mac OS? It should. They're both Color Classics. No, shouldn't take this long. I can reboot it. Huh. That is so bizarre. Well, while we have the other board here, that doesn't have internal sound, let's just take a quick look. It's got external sound. I can hook it up to external speakers and it works just fine. Ooh. What's going on there? Definitely some dark lines on that. I will switch back to microscope. Yeah. Other one if I can. There we go. So, let's see if I can get the view here. You see these? That's pretty dark. It goes from here to there, and it says it's connected. And this one should go from here to here. It does, it's just very filthy. I would need to check and see which of these, it helps if I have them in view, which of these connects to the internal speaker. So they're on the top side or the bottom side, I'm not even sure. Yeah, that just never boots. What the heck? I wonder if I could tell it to boot from CD. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can make it do that. Okay, so I want to switch this around. That's fine. Put that in here. Make that device SCSI ID 2. Should be able to find that. I just want to see if it's a hard drive problem or something else here. Which just seems bizarre because the other Color Classic boots it up just fine. So we've got the Legacy CD and the CD on the Blue SCSI. Grab that. I think I just hold down C to force it. All right, power, boot up, C. I don't know if it's Command C or just C. Let's see. That's a lot of C's. Nothing. Sad back. Really? What the heck? All we do is change chassis. Have we got some voltage problems that the other board doesn't seem to care about? Hang on. So let's take this back off. I just want to see this boot up in here again. It'll be the Legacy CD, but I don't really care. Okay. Perplexing. Power boot. Sound. Do we get screen with you? Maybe these connectors need a good cleaning. Screen, right away. Do we get mouse with you? Yep, I see the mouse. Wow, this analog board is not doing too well. It is completely overblown right now. Getting worse as I use it, but there's Happy Mac. This thing needs a full recap. Yeah, it's a little better. Happy Mac, booting Mac OS. So you like this chassis, but you don't like the other one. How does that make sense? This likes both. The only difference I can think of is that hard drive. So let's do this. We're going to disconnect the power on the hard drive for this guy. The disk is unreadable. Okay. Not sure what disk you're referring to, but that's okay. I'm going to switch you off. Thank you. Is there something about this hard drive in this chassis you don't like? Or is there something about the voltages of this analog board that you don't like? That is the question. I want to use my better screwdriver. Sorry for the noise. I just like this one better. Okay. It has a lot of scratches on there, doesn't it? I wonder how well those are actually connecting. Maybe that's where our sound problem is the one of those has a bigger problem. Okay. Despite knowing that this hard drive works, with the classic machine. Apparently we have to disconnect it. So let's see what happens when we do that. And because they put it way at the back of the bloody machine, and I don't feel like taking the analog board out, I'm going to use this pair of needle nose pliers to get it. Okay, so no power to the SCSI hard drive. Fine. Take out the analog, or the logic board, excuse me. This one has sound, boots in this chassis. I'm just reminding myself, because now there's very little to distinguish these two from each other. Although I guess this one has a blue sticker on the microphone input. This one does not. Okay. Logic board in. Blue SCSI in. ADB, of course, on the floor. Because, you know, why wouldn't it? Let's try this. Okay. We got power. Yeah. Boot up. Sound. Blue SCSI attached. No hard drive. Nothing. Wow. Huh. Are the voltages that out of whack on this board? But why does the other one work? Rebooted. But nothing on screen at all with this one. Okay, hang on. Turn that off. Turn this off. Pull these out. Simple stuff first. Oh boy, that's tight. Okay, let's try this. Lay this down on top of the mat. Trying to scratch this. Alright, well, no power to the SCSI. I would expect it not to boot from the SCSI, or even to attempt it. And it sounded like it was booting off of the internal, or the blue SCSI device instead of the internal drive, which it is supposed to. And it is getting stuck on the shield, which it's not supposed to. Okay. We have deoxit. Let's try a full deoxit. Both sides. Come on, deoxit. I know you got a little bit left in this one. Come on. There we go. Okay. Give it a scrub. That should be power. Try that. See if that makes any difference. Deoxit, I don't believe, is conductive, so we should be able to do this. Okay. Power. Boot up. Oh, right. Power. Boot up. Yeah. Oh, we got a screen. Do we get a boot? Do we get a mouse? Yep, we get a mouse. Okay, deoxit. Let's see. I want you to boot into an operating system for me, please. Happy Mac, rebooting. Not sure what I've got set up at this point. Lost track. Happy Mac, Mac OS. Okay, it says fine. Okay. Maybe it's just been a dirty connector. Cool. I'm happy with that. If that's really the case, let's shut down. All right, I want to try hooking up that real hard drive again. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay. Let's see if I can do it at a distance. Maybe. Not the easiest connector in the world to get in there in the first place, but I think I have. Okay, let's try it. Feels like it's in. Yep. I guess I could switch views so it's a little bit nicer for you guys. What is that one? 2 only? No. I gotta fix that one still. 2 only? There we go. Okay. So, I believe the internal hard drive is plugged back in. Power cord. ADB. Power on. Power on. Boot up. See if you'll boot the hard drive this time. Well, I see a great. Do I get a mouse? Mouse, yeah. Happy Mac. Okay. Interesting. I wonder why it had such a hard time with that dirty connector. This one went in just fine. Makes me want to clean the connector on this and see if that makes any difference for sound, frankly. Are you gonna boot? Like all the way. I need a full desktop. I'm sorry. Did I not tell you this? This is to make me fully happy. Oh dear. Maybe this because it's in this chassis it's just not quite happy. Try it one more time. Oh, this, yeah, okay. This time you boot up. Okay. Gotta love that grinding. Clock is not set. That's fine. Okay. Well, I'm not going to try anything with this until we've run it through the ultrasonic cleaner, because clearly there is a dirt problem with this particular board. I will try running the other board through the ultrasonic cleaner too and see if that solves our internal sound not occurring problem with that board. But hey, at least it now boots up, has sound. We just have to run it through the cleaner, and then she should be good. I'll run some more tests, make sure nothing else goes flaky on us, and then she'll be good to go for a new home. All right, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. It's been longer than I thought for this particular board, but you know, that's the stuff we keep running into, is you think it's going to be quick and easy, and it turns out to be a little bit more involved than you thought.